Hello everybody and welcome to the Sauropod squad. Here on the channel we are fans of dinosaurs but passionate about a variety of gaming. And today I'm riding my monorail here in the park and I wanted to show you guys the brand new monorail stations. Alright guys, I gave you a sneak peek of this last episode, but I just kind of wanted to bring you guys in. I'm not completely done. I want to do way more detailing work because detailing work is never going to end on this series. Yeah, folks, welcome to the monorail station for the Jurassic section of our park. Also, I extended the monorail. I think it looks way better with 3 carriage cars instead of just the one. Alright folks, but welcome. If you're new here, this is the series where the goal is to build a giant dinosaur park, both a Jurassic and a Cretaceous section, as well as like a big zoo, and we're using trains and a whole bunch of other mods to make this really, really entertaining. But before I get into too much more of the episode, let's do a quick time lapse and you guys can watch me build this real quick. So let's cue that music. Guys, yeah, so what do you think? Originally in the time-lapse, you would have seen I had spruce here, and I wanted it to be a different kind of color, but when I got towards the end, I was like, you know what, it actually makes more sense just to have a lot of this be the redwood tree log. If you can imagine, let me pop into spectator here for us. If you can imagine this huge redwood forest that we've planted around our visitor center, I'm going to have this forest pretty much extend to this section of the hill. It's going to come up the whole hill here and pretty much surround this building. I'm thinking this is all a big forest up until right here. It'll open back up to the prairie when we have our Stegosaurus and our Dryo exhibit. And it'll also open up in a smaller prairie over here in the middle of the Sauropod exhibit, as well as, I think I've told you guys that there's going to be a dinosaur right here, but I'll let you know which one. The Ceratosaurus is actually going to be right here, just across the way. So this pathway here would be cool. It would be between 2 giants. Going to be really interesting once the Cerato and the Sauropods get in. But yeah, I'm thinking big forest, right? So the redwood forest is really going to be the main forest that we use pretty much in the entirety of the park. I really like the trees and just the atmosphere it gives off. But it's going to be really, really dense here in Jurassic. And then once we get over to Cretaceous, we might have a little grove or 2 of redwoods, but it'll be much more open once we get over there. Okay, guys, but just kind of like the beginning of last episode, I want to show you what I've been doing, and I have been spending a lot of time down here in our mine, so let's go ahead and drop down here, and if you remember from last episode, this is where we go down to the deep slate mining, which takes you all the way down there to pretty much bedrock, but I realized I needed to kind of mine at level 30, right? I didn't want to go too deep, and I didn't want to go too high. So I went to positive 30, because this is going to be giving us the biofossils. Remember, when we went down in the deep slate, we were too far down there, and we were picking up shale fossils. Now, shale fossils are cool, and they're going to give us trilobites and possibly early Jurassic time period dinosaurs. But the biofossils here that we get out of kind of the stone fossils, I think they can give us much more than much more fossils that we're looking for dinosaur-wise than the shale will. I also extended the old mining thing. It actually has two more sides on it, which are not that expensive to make in the create mode, but the actual kind of pain is these deployers. Making these deployers takes a lot, but I'm going to continually just keep expanding it lengthwise until it can't run anymore, because eventually the minecart here in this contraption, the fuel is just coal, right? And there's a power limit, and I don't actually know how big that is, so I just keep adding on sides until until it stops. And yeah, we managed to add 2 more on that, so it's bigger, it's wider, it's great. It just works a little bit faster. That also allowed me to add even more storage so I can run it a few times before having to the very tedious sorting that takes, it's just manual, so it is what it is. But compared to the deep slate mine, we're getting stuff like diorite, andesite, granite, dirt, and gravel, miscellaneous stuff, some cobble deep slate here and there, some more tuff, and this crimsite. Look at this stuff, the red crimsite. I think we gathered some in like the first episode, as well as limestone. Now look at limestone. This is a good looking block. I'm going to be using this probably in a lot of buildings. I don't know, definitely in the Paleolithic era building that we're going to make with all our trilobites, the guys we got last episode. But that leads me to show you guys this chest, the fossil chest. So I ran this for a good 2-3 hours, kind of like I did the deep slate mine, and this is what we got. So we have 30 biofossils, we've got 19 relic scraps, a skull, a bunch of amber, which I don't even know if it has a thing that amber can do in the game. When I search up on the wiki, it just says doesn't have a use, so that's fun. We got some plant fossils, and then the big ones. You guys ready? We got a quagga, we got a gastornis, we got a smilodon, we got a dryosaurus, and a potential brachiosaurus. This is the big one, guys. This is the one I'm really hoping for. I hope we can get a sauropod super early. That'd be really fun, especially because the exhibit, right, is going to be around our house. It's going to be around the visitor center. So going forward in the playthrough would be really, really cool to get the brachy to actually work. But let's go ahead and gather these up and bring them back to the lab. And just like last episode, let's hope we get lucky, because last episode we were not lucky. And let's see what we get. Now, I will say we spent the whole episode last time working on these fossils. I also did a little bit of the map, so that's cool. I'm not going to spend the whole episode here on fossils, guys. I'm actually going to open these lab doors, and when I go through here, we're going to cut, and I'm going to show you everything we got. Ready? And cut. Okay, I will show you guys my reaction to this one, but only this one. Did we get it? No! Man, I had so much hope on the Brachiosaurus. Alright. Alright, guys, analyzing those 30 or so fossils has netted us about 5 fossils. Let me show you guys what we got. We actually got some really fun stuff. So we got the Dryosaurus DNA, which is going to be in our Stegosaurus/Dryosaurus exhibit here in the Jurassic section. We also got the Therizinosaurus, which is going to be one of the big herbivores in the mixed herbivore pen over in the Cretaceous era. We've got our Velociraptor, which is awesome. He's going to be in Cretaceous as well. Now we've got Dimorphodon. Dimorphodon is that one flying creature that we need in Jurassic in the aviary that's going to go right next to the monorail station. That one might be the next exhibit. We shall see, but that's a perfect timing to get that guy. And then we also got Alligator Gar, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put the Alligator Gar away. And remember, guys, we still have the Pachyrhinosaurus, who's going to be chilling with our Therizinosaurus later. Then we got the Dryo, the Velo, and the Dimorphodon. But let's go ahead and come take a walk with me, folks, and let's talk about where we're going to put these guys. But first, sleepy time. Alright guys, come take a leisurely stroll through the park with me, and I want to kind of give you guys the full idea from a ground scale. I've flown around a few times and told you guys this and that and what's going places, but I think giving you a view from the ground will help kind of really bring the whole idea of the park into your guys' brain. So like I said earlier, we're going to extend this forest. This whole area is going to be a big redwood forest with an open prairie here to see the house pretty much. And the Ceratosaurus is going to go here, and the Sauropods are going to go here. Just beyond the monorail, that corner, that's where the Dryo and the Stego's going. And then the big, the small flyer is going to go right on this hill, so we'll have a little bit of an aviary right here, kind of hidden in the trees. It should look really really cool. Beyond that, where our T-Rex chomper is sitting, that's where our Allosaurus is going, and you know, the Triassic period and the Paleolithic era building. That's all over that way, okay? So everything else in the park is going to be over this way. And the way I have jotted it down in my brain is that we have in the Jurassic era 2 more creatures that are going to go into smaller pens, like right here, and another small pen kind of like right here in the corner. They can actually be kind of medium sized, but they're not going to go very far, right? They're going to be very long exhibits, kind of nestled right up against the mountain. And those pens are going to be for the Compy as well as the Omniraptor, 2 little dinosaurs, more or less, that are in like huge packs, and I think they'll fit really well in that small little section right there. Also, how cool is it now just to walk around and have the monorail go over you? I love it. It gives like such a cool vibe to the park. All right, so over here, this is actually going to be the entrance to the Cretaceous era. So if you can imagine there being a big wall right here and another kind of big entrance sign that says Cretaceous as we walk through here. And then as you get in here, immediately on your left in this area, in this kind of hill, I want like raised up platforms just on this side of the monorail. It'll look really good when you're on the monorail going by. But this huge section here is where the Spinosaurus is going to go. And if you guys remember, I said I have huge grand ideas about kind of moving a large river through here. It'll come right through here, and I want it to pool up in like a little pond right here for our Spino to swim in. Now, back here at the crossroads, where the entrance is to the Jurassic section, and where it heads out south over there, I want to actually extend a road and possibly the monorail as well over in this direction. And kind of fitting in this section right here is going to be 2 more small pens. For our 2 small theropods, we've got the Velociraptor that can go in here, as well as the Deinonychus. I want to check if they even will fight each other. We could put them in the same pen, but it might just make more sense to have them separate a little bit, you know? And then the train will go up into the mountains and go up to our giant aviary, which has the Pteranodon and the Quetzalcoatlus. The big herbivore pen is pretty much the rest of this area, so it'll kind of come up in here, and we'll have a road, right? So I think a viewing pen can be here. There's going to be lots of viewing, not viewing pens, viewing stations, if you will, right? But yeah, pretty much this whole field is going to be where the Cretaceous herbivores are. And then when you get over in this corner, I remember I did tell you guys this whole mountain is pretty much reserved for the T-Rex. The T-Rex is going to have a very, very large exhibit, and there's only going to be 2 T-Rexes in there, but I did that on purpose. I planned it out. Like, I want them to have an absurdly large exhibit, and so it kind of feels like they're really in like a rural mountainside. It's going to go all the way up to pretty much the snow cap, which is really cool. Now, that leaves only 1 more creature in the Cretaceous era that we have yet to account for, and that is actually the one called where is it on my list? This Citipani, which is like a it's a theropod, but it kind of looks more like a bird, almost like a terror bird of its own type, which is really cool. And that guy, I think I'm either going to stick right here or kind of sneaking around the corner. I'm not really sure exactly where it's going to go, but we do kind of have a lot of area towards this side of the park that we don't need all of it. And so what's cool is this area might be the train yard, or just leave expansion room for Al and all of his projects. And speaking of projects, Al is actually in the middle of setting up his basic workshop building, which is going to have all of the tools that I've been kind of messing around in his workshop, in his actual house, his little basement workshop. It's actually going to go here, and it's going to look nice, and he's going to put a building around it and all that. And I have promised him, I did agree to make a building around our iron farm, which sits over there, but I kind of want to see what vibe he goes for, and kind of make it similar so that this whole area feels fluid, feels like a kind of a workshop area. This is almost like the employees-only facility section of the park. So with all that knowledge and all the plans that we have going forward with the park, I hope you guys can understand why certain creatures I'm going to wait a little bit on. Like the Therizinosaurus, I would love to have a Therizinosaurus, but I think waiting until we have a big pileup of Cretaceous herbivores for that penning specifically just kind of makes sense, right? There's also, like, we got the Velociraptor, and we could put the Velociraptor over there, but then it'd be the only creature over in the Cretaceous era. So I would love to try to focus on Jurassic area first, and then, as we slowly go through time, pun intended, we'll move further into Cretaceous area, and then eventually finally move our big bad T-Rex into like the grand finale exhibit right at the end, where I can use all the blocks that we've gathered with all these machines that we're making to just really have a really, really awesome time. So with that thought being put out into the world, I'm probably not surprising you guys because you might have seen the thumbnail. I don't know what I'm doing yet, as far as thumbnails go, but I do think since we're going to try to stay in the Jurassic era here, I'm going to continue expanding these trees, and I'm thinking it might be time to try to make this area continue with the creation of this monorail. I'm going to flatten some of this area out. I'm going to make it look nice, kind of add some pathing, add more trees, and I'm thinking right here we start a big aviary. I keep saying big. It's going to be small compared to the other one, but I still want it to be a decent size so that when you walk in here, you're in a building, you have a hallway or whatnot, and then you enter the actual exhibit, and it's a bit of a dome, which I ain't going to lie to you guys, I've never built a dome in Minecraft, and anytime you try to do circles, it's a pain. So wish me luck. Hopefully you don't see too much struggle in this upcoming time lapse. But let's go ahead and make this aviary for our little future Dimorphodon. Let's get it. Alright guys, so we are about halfway done with the exhibit. I've got the exterior pretty much done. I might do a little bit more detailing work here and there, and add some doors and stuff like that, of course. But I wanted to bring you guys in here because I figured out what was going wrong with the plant fossils that we were analyzing last episode. I did need to put them in the vat. It just takes a really long time. So I got a few things here that I want to try planting, and essentially I want to see if I can replicate them, or if planting them, I can only plant them once, right? So we had one of the ferns over by the house that I was able to kind of destroy and continually get. So once I had one, I had pretty much unlimited. So let's go ahead and do some more fieldwork science, right? So let's go ahead and put the palm down. Oh, it's a sapling, so it grows. Okay. I came prepared. I've got bone meal. I actually don't know how tall this can be. I don't want to use all my bone meal. Maybe it's taller than this. Okay. Well, I don't want to break it because that might... I don't know. We'll leave that there for a second. Let's see what this is. This is cephalotic something. Just a little nub of a plant. Okay, but what I want to know is if I bone meal it. Yes, there we go. All right, so when you bone meal this, it spreads. That's awesome. So we have this permanently, forever, pretty much. I'm never going to lose these. And if I break it, I do get it back so I can replant it. That is awesome. Okay, that's really good news on that guy. Let's see. We've got Florescentia. Let's go ahead and put those here. Oh, they're like a flower. Okay, so we don't want to use this in our Jurassic section. We'll save this for Cretaceous, but I'm wondering if Yup, it does the same thing. Awesome. If I break out, I get it. Awesome. Okay, so we'll stash that for later. We'll have those a ton in the Cretaceous area. We also have fern spores. Now, I did read that the fern spores can only be placed underneath leaves. They're supposed to be underneath trees, which is accurate because I'm right-clicking and it's not working. So we're going to have to wait until we get trees for that. And the last one we have is the Welwitschia seeds, which I think are probably going to be flowers again. Yeah, a little red flower. Okay, and then same thing with this. Yeah, same thing with this as it expands. Awesome, but when I break it, I get it back. Love to see that with all the plants. Okay, cool. Well, this plant here is a good, like, kind of bushy fern. I can see myself using this in a lot of exhibits, specifically here in the Jurassic section, but even the Cretaceous. And then I don't know what to do with this guy. We do have an extra palm sapling, so perhaps I will risk it by breaking this one. It did pop out. Cool. You just never know with these mods, right? I'm never really sure. Okay, let's try to put it directly in the middle here. Perhaps there's enough space. Alright, I have to bust out my reserve bone meal for this, but let's just keep spamming it. There we go. Okay. Wow, what a cool looking tree. That's awesome. I might even keep this in the exhibit if I'm honest, because that is front and center and kind of perfect, although I might want to move it off to the side. We'll see. But that's really cool. And then I'm assuming, just like every tree here, is that it's going to drop its saplings, and from there we can just continue to farm it like any other tree, which is awesome. Okay, well that's awesome. I'm gonna have to continue to build out this exhibit, but that means I can use this palm trees and some of the new plants that we got in here, which is super exciting. I'm gonna terraform. I don't want it to be flat, and we're also gonna have like a walkway here. My idea basically is that the exhibit, you are contained within it because you don't want to be in the same area as these. They're gonna be carnivorous flying reptiles, right? So you don't really gotta stay away from those guys. I do want to show you guys something real quick though. Is my backpack. So you might have noticed my when I broke that tree there, it automatically switched to my axe. You can see right here, watch, if I click here, boom, now I have my shovel out, right? If I go over to this wall, boom, now I have my axe out. What's going on here is I started to get some upgrades in the backpack. Now, the backpack has a bunch of these upgrades. You can see here that I got the auto smelter, and I got a jukebox so we can listen to music. But right here, tool swapper upgrade. Basically, automatically swaps items in the player hands for the one effective on the block entity, whether they are left clicked. So that's awesome. So I've just basically put a bunch of swords and axes and a bunch of tools in here. And it basically means I only need one slot now to use my tool, which is really, really, really cool. I'm a huge fan of that. And that gives me, more space for my sleeping bag can now stay in my hotbar, or I don't know, I just have more hotbar space. It's really, really handy. And there's also this. Now, the red backpack is the one I've been using for blocks. And if you open this, you might notice I got a bunch of upgrades on this side too. I've got a crafting upgrade, so I have a crafting bench on the go, and because of that I also got the stone cutter upgrade, because I actually do use that a lot, especially when building. I used it a lot to get like the stairs and the different types of bricks and stuff. And then I also have an anvil, so in case we ever need an anvil, we have an anvil. I don't think this can break. This is an unbreakable anvil that'll just always be in my backpack, which is really cool. And then on top of all of that, I got the stack upgrade. Now this one's tier 3. I think there's up to 4 tiers. And what this does is multiplies the number of stacks that can fit in my backpack each slot by 8. So what we're at now is like 516 or something. But you can see I have 168. I have 202 diorite in one. So instead of stacks of 64, I'm stacking tons and tons and tons of blocks in here. So this backpack, my red backpack, is my block backpack, and it's also like my crafting backpack, right? I'll be mixing, changing woods variants and stuff in here, and stone variants, and it's really, really cool. So my inventory is really getting all souped up. The last one I want to show you guys is I also got an advanced feeding upgrade. Basically, I can tell it what food in here I want it, so like cooked turtle meat here, I can add it in here and it'll just automatically feed me when I'm hungry. So that unlocks yet another slot in my hotbar that I don't have to have all the time, which is, it's just so nice. And the upgrades here are making life so much better just to play. Like, inventory has always been kind of an issue here in Minecraft, but these backpacks are really fixing it. So, folks, with that said, I'm feeling another time-lapse. You guys feeling another time-lapse? Let's get another cool song, and I'm going to deck this place out, and I will probably return to you with the exhibit built, but also a new baby Dimorphodon. Time-lapse time. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you in after the time-lapse to something quite exciting. We are getting the Dimorphodon DNA all culture vatted up, and he should be a little egg in just a second. And let me take you to the exhibit, because I've finally finished it. Also glad to see that that worked, that we didn't break the vat everywhere. Come with me, folks. It might be raining outside, but I've got a little bit to show you. All right, follow me this way out of our visitor center here, and you can see that I have extended our forest here. So we're very much deep in a redwood forest now. Also, this storm is ominous, I ain't even gonna lie. But you can see these blocks are gonna designate our future wall for the Sauropod pen. I just kind of had to blot it out in my mind, right? And it helps me kind of put in just a little basic wall down. Alright, I had to set the weather for clear because that storm was way too loud for this segment, and I want to show you guys the Dimorphodon Aviary, so come on in. Now you can see here, I started to put stuff you would see in zoos, right? Some Dimorphodon facts and information. I got a little tree in here, or a prehistoric plant, and it tells you, hey, this is Temska, it's got the name of it. You know, I'll probably have like a little paragraph about it or whatever, but Dimorphodon facts and information, I wanna teach you guys a little bit about our little guy before we hatch him. So, right here, Dimorphodon, it means two-formed tooth, which is derived from the Greek di, meaning two, and morphe, meaning shape, as well as odon, meaning tooth, referring to the fact that it had two distinct type of teeth in its jaw, which is comparatively rare among reptiles. Now, I also got this right here, all about its diet. The diet of the Dimorphodon has been questioned among researchers, with earlier interpretations depicting it as an insectivore or a pescivore, right, which is a fish eater. Recent studies have suggested that Dimorphodon likely hunted small vertebrates, though it would have consumed soft invertebrates like insects. And then if you go in here, guys, to the rest of the exhibit, you've got the main two informations. At least I thought they were the main ones. Those are kind of like extra info, but this one right here. The first fossil remains, now attributed to Dimorphodon, were found in England by fossil collector Mary Anning at the Lyme Regis in Dorset, UK in December 1828. And this region of Britain is now known as a World Heritage Site, dubbed the Jurassic Coast. So, hey, that's pretty cool. And then right here, it's kind of the main one. Honestly, it's probably the first one you should read. But Dimorphodon, and there's the pronunciation of it, is a genus of medium-sized pterosaurs from Europe during the early Jurassic period, about 201 to 191 million years ago. It was named by paleontologist Richard Owen in 1859. All right, guys, but let's get this little guy in the exhibit. I am super excited to have this guy in here. Let's go ahead and put him down, and honestly, let's hatch you right up here. That looks like a spot for you. Yeah, king of the castle, right? So yeah, guys, here's the exhibit. I really like this exhibit, and I want to let you guys know that the detail that I put into this exhibit is kind of the level of detail that I envision for the whole park. In my mind, this place is done. I can't really do any more. I mean, I could do more, right? But I don't think I need to do more. If every exhibit has this level of ground detail, it's got the level of plants, and you know, I have like a rocky area over here. Over here, it's kind of like more open, sparse, but there's a fern like hill, and then I have like a little water section over here with lily pads and cattails and reeds and stuff like that. This is, like I said, this is the level of detail that I want to put into the park. Also, the palm tree here. This is the the one we saw just a little bit ago from the fossil, as well as another one here. And these are technically, don't tell anybody, these are technically Joshua trees. So they're meant to be the trees in the desert. But I think because of the tops, right, I think they fit perfectly in the Jurassic section of the park. So we'll be seeing a lot. Honestly, I'll probably put in Cretaceous too. And heck, even Triassic. They're good trees to use. Also blotted this guy around, not super everywhere, but I think a little bit here and there is kind of nice. And of course we used elephant ear and the other elephant ear, right, the fern version. Both regional unexplored and untamed wilds have the same plant, but they look very different, which is funny. Okay, last thing we need to set up though, while this guy hatches, is the feeder. And now in most of my exhibits, I'm going to want the feeder to be pretty front and center so that you can see it and that the animals kind of walk up to it. So I'm thinking... where's a good spot for this? Probably just like, honestly, front and center. Maybe like right here. Yeah, I like that. And then I do have a whole stack of cooked chicken for him, so he's going to be stocked for quite a while. I can't imagine this stack of 64 would be enough for the T-Rex for quite a while. So I don't know. That might be the last time I have to feed these guys. Although we are going to be getting a whole group of them as soon as this guy hatches. Actually, let's get prepared. I'll grab my Dinopedia, which is somewhere. There it is, Dinopedia. I'll grab this, and we can use it as soon as he hatches, and it'll tell us even more information about the dinosaur, and more specifically, how many we can have in this exhibit. But I ain't gonna lie, guys. Standing this aviary with after all the work I've been doing, it looks so good. I'm so pleased. I hope you guys like it too. All right, little buddy, it's time to hatch. It has been plenty time. I think you're ready. Get out of there. Oh, there we go. It's time for a little pterosaur. I'm super excited for this guy. I hope he flies around, always. It'll be really cool just to see him flying around in the aviary. Come on out and greet the world, little dude. There he is. Oh, he is super, super tiny. What's up, man? Oh, he's all... ooh, nice little call. A little chirp. All right, before I lose you... oh, I've already lost him. Where did he go? There, oh, he's eating immediately. He's unbelievably tiny. I can't even click on him because of the plant. Can you get out from under there, man? All right, we're coming in here to bump you out of the way. Excuse me, buddy. I need to click on you. There we go. Dimorphodon. Wow, we can have 10 of them in here. That's exciting. Okay, female as well. So guys, let me get a name for our female Dimorphodon in the comments, and I'll name it in a future episode. But I wanted to take a look at this and just kind of skim it. We don't have to go over the whole thing. Obviously, you can pause and look at everything. It's going to probably say pretty much everything that I just told you guys in my little walkthrough there. Yeah, it's 2-formed teeth from the early Jurassic. Pretty cool. Super rare trait in reptiles. Look at that, it's talking about food. It's telling you pretty much everything I just told you, which is funny. So go ahead and read through this if you'd like. There is all the more information. Oh, he's gone. Where did he go? See how quick he vanishes? Wow. Oh, there he is. He's so tiny. That's crazy. Oh, wow. He's at half heart? Are you taking damage? Don't take damage, dude. No, look at that. He didn't take damage. He just literally has 1 HP. That's funny. Okay, well, he's here. He's hanging out. He's super tiny. Can I get a close-up on him? Look at him. Look at him. He's, oh my god, he's ridiculously tiny. That's funny. I'm assuming he has to grow up before he starts flying around. Full size, I think he's going to be about 2 blocks, so he's not going to get much bigger, so it makes sense that he's super, super tiny. But yeah, little Dimorphodon. Very awesome. Okay, folks, but that's gonna be... Oh, gosh, that's scary. Alright, guys, but the storm has returned. Expect a few thunder and lightning during this outro. But I'm gonna let you guys get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, I really do think that this is the level of detail that I want the rest of the park. So take note, right? This is kind of me being like, hey, this is what I can do. I'm not the best builder in the world, but I do think when I put in a lot of effort, specifically with plants and terraforming, that I can make something decent, you know, at least something hopefully entertaining to watch, so, and to look around. And honestly, the big forest in the background has completely changed the vibe of just playing in the server for the past, like, day or two. And this forest, like I told you guys in the past, is going to encompass it, can't talk, it's going to surround this entire aviary, so it's going to be very, very awesome in the long run. But this little guy is sleeping, and so I'm gonna let you guys go, and if it's night, you can go to sleep as well. Get some sleep, okay? Alright, folks, thanks so much for watching, but like usual, I have been Jay, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Until next time, peace out, guys.